Alright, I finally have some time. I am ahead in my classes. Probably mostly thanks to other people being behind, so the class got kind of like behind, but yeah, whatever. But we're doing the story quest, the Medial Circuit, given to us by Alice. We're outside a cave with Alphino, Ishtola, and Kryl as well. See if I remember how to do voices, not that I did them great in the first place. Here we go. Assuming everyone's tightened their straps and checked their gear, then I say we head on in. Given the terrain ahead, though, it might be wise to leave some distance between us. We don't want to be stumbling over each other if it comes to a fight. Take it slow, and don't forget to check your surroundings from time to time. We can meet up again at the other end of the tunnel. I think this is a dungeon starter. No? Not yet, at least. So we're entering the cave. Just empty. Nothing in here. Just emptiness. The empty. Got some mithril caps, like the funguars, those type. Like a walking mushroomish thing. We have a dark purple destination. Let's do it. I haven't played in a while. I wonder if everything's the same. Who knows? I know there's an update, and I think I logged on quick or with enough time to kind of check out what the update might have been. If I remember how to do it. It's all pretty standard. I think something in the red mage rotation got changed a little bit, but maybe I'm not at that level yet. I'm not sure. I thought I saw it, but I don't know what. I can't figure out what it is. I forgot how to do things. I probably didn't have to fight this guy. Like definitely didn't have to. Still alive? Come on, man. Give me that last sliver. It's like point whatever %. I'm just gonna sword you. Get sorted, bitch. Jeez. That auto attack is so sad. And it can be parried? Of course. Jesus, come on, man. That's so sad. Not like Final Fantasy XI where auto attacks were, well, at the start of the game, and for a long time there were a lot of everything, but then another destination, roiling dark purple. This is like more like a little fountain, kind of no air fountain of purple. We're surveying, and we're attacking. I'm gonna just let you guys get closer here. But still in a big cave. Oh, you can level up trust now? Interesting. So they added trust like they did in Final Fantasy XI. My free company is talking about leveling up Ishtola, Thancred. Talking to Alphino outside the cave down to the south exit from where we entered. Everyone seems to have made it through without incident, nothing of consequence at least, and as promised, the tunnel has delivered us into the Medial Circuit. And as I recall, that this tier is where they keep a wide variety of samples for agricultural production. If Erenville's assumption holds true that specimens are being collected in preparation for a great migration, then we should see evidence of such plans in the area's research projects. Let's follow the path to the nearest farming facility and see what we see. Turns out I can't talk no matter what, even if I've had only like a little bit of alcohol. Yay me. I had this problem when I was trying to talk in class. I was trying to ask a question, and if I try to go too fast, that's when I get the problem. And I don't know if this used to happen when I was younger. Have I reached a point, or have I done enough damage to myself that my mouth can't keep up with my brain anymore? Even with just speaking English without an accent at all, I find myself having to go slower than I recall having to in the past, but maybe that's a good thing. Gives me time to collect my thoughts. We reached a destination, we waited, we have a cutscene here. We have some vineyards, grapes hanging from vines, pumpkin patches. Aha! Aha! I know. I sound like Mickey. Aha! Now I know where we are. This is Medial Agronomics, says Kryle. Medial Agronomics. Labyrinthos is host to a wide variety of vegetation, which allows us to conduct studies on cultivation methods utilized in foreign lands. And it is this facility which coordinates and oversees those efforts. The fruits of their research go to feed their Labyrinthos colleagues, or so I hear. Alice turns to her. More notable successes might make it to the Agora. Food so exotic, you'd be hard-pressed to guess their origin, let alone how they might taste. Kryle laughs at this. Indeed, mystery vegetables without a name, only a list of nutritional benefits scribbled on a card. I see no gleaner hereabouts, yet these workers seem to share that same sense of urgency. Ah, come on. 'Tis possible they know something of the Forum's plans and their underlying motivations. Worth looking into, wouldn't you say? See what you can coax from the workers. The rest of us will do the same, or cast about for useful clues. Nods all around. Let us off. Ah. I was raised on enunciation because of choir, and more choir. It's very obnoxious that I'm losing it. Here's a person named Jebke, Jebke. Orin, I believe they're called, with like the horns and kind of scaly skin. Oh, hello there. We weren't expecting visitors, not with use of the lift being restricted. How did you make it down here anyway? I explain. The mine shaft, you say? Well, you're a much hardier soul than I. Under normal circumstances, I'd reward such tenacity with a guided tour of the fields, but I'm afraid the Forum has us filling order lists a mile long. Massive yet detailed requests, literal wagon loads of crop samples, and hardly any time to put them together. When I first heard of this grand reorganization, I assumed we would be shuffling around old stock to make room for the new. Then came the orders for ridiculous quantities of seeds we've already thoroughly researched. Passing strange, eh? I pressed for an explanation, and was met with vague assurances that all would be revealed in due course. Not the most satisfying answer. One down. None there. Here we go. There's also like this big circle walled-in area where there are a couple, not Ferris wheels. What are they called? Like the ferry wheels, or that you would have on boats, or actually in mills as well, like with water running through them to generate power to turn the wheel, you know. And then there's like 4 sections of crops around some cement pathways. Nice little place. Overwhelmed laborer. Do I have aught to be taken down below? More than I can carry, and then some. Most of our stock is sent off via the cargo lift, but some has been earmarked for aerial transport. Hence the stack of crates atop that hill over there. Gods, hauling the lot up that slope was a job and a half. Riley, please talk gooder. I can't. I might have to stop making these. I hate it. I hate my inability to talk. I like the story, just can't talk good. Harried Harvester. What crops are we raising? Well, as you can see, this one is a variety of grape. Only needs a good source of sunlight to grow, and the conditions here are nothing short of perfect. Hardly surprising, given that it's native to a particular locale in the very place upon which Labyrinthos was modeled, a region in the south of Isilbard. It boasts remarkable habitat diversity, allowing for myriad flora and fauna to thrive. Chilly peaks in the north give way to swaths of temperate plains, which in turn transition into a hot, humid coastline. Such bountiful territory as ever contested, as you might expect, used to be called Corvos before the Imperials renamed it Locus Amoenus. The Forum saw it not as a prize, however, but as a researcher's ideal environment, one whose climates we strove to recreate within the confines of Labyrinthos. It's since provided a rich foundation for countless experiments in cultivation. Right. Keep going north to a big red circle where we are investigating some boxers. Stray tomatoes, so they made the mandragoras look like tomato plant. Oh, and onions. And corrigans. So corrigan is another word for mandragora, or at least that was my understanding in Final Fantasy XI. I don't think you saw any corrigans until you went to like later expansions. I remember the black corrigan. Here's some stacked boxes. There's also big hornets, but those are not new. Inspect. The labels on these crates tell the story of their contents, bundles of common seeds and saplings accompanied by sheaves of reports. Cutscene. Ow, I cracked my neck for like the billionth time this day. There's a kind of glowy-ish, like glowing white flowers that we are now looking at. The center is also glowing kind of yellow, little blue in the middle.
Hard to look away, isn't it? But they're more than pretty flowers. Heart blooms are attuned to ambient emotion.
This is a Rogadin man carrying a crate. So far he's only called the Medial botanist.
You don't seem convinced, but believe me, it's true.
He set down the crate, wiped off his brow, looks to the flowers.
This ashen grey, for instance, it mirrors the anxiety and urgency of those working nearby as they rush to fulfill sudden orders. Intense feelings like those spur the petals to change colour. Bright glowing hues in the presence of joy, dark subdued shades for frustration or despair. Yet even with the collected wisdom of Charlian at our disposal, we've yet to identify the underlying principle of this empathic effect. And there are other mysteries besides. Although the flower is extraordinarily long-lived, its low reproductive rate has made it difficult to find younger populations growing in the wild. With too few sightings to map its distribution, and no closely related species to track, we've been unable to pinpoint its land of origin. To further complicate matters, every culture, even dimly aware of its existence, has given it a different name and mythos. Our attempts to study it via the historical record have been an exercise in frustration. As an avid botanist myself, I should one day like to unravel the Heartbloom's secrets. But I'm afraid other duties must take precedence. I will leave you to your thoughts.
So he is forever and simply going to be known as the botanist of our Medial, apparently. Unless he pops up again. We're joined by our Scion companions.
Have you learned aught of interest?
Yeshtola. We share what we have learned.
A flower that reacts to one's feelings? Strange. I must say, I have never heard of such a thing.
This is all very fascinating. But as it stands, we failed to gain any significant insight into the Forum's undertaking.
The camera zoomed in on Kryle's face for a second before Alice spoke, as if Kryle does recognize them.
Indeed. While there is certainly enough activity to support Erenville's supposition that a priority has been placed on improving food production, unfortunately for our investigation, these workers were never informed as to how their duties serve the master plan.
If only we could interrogate the Forum members directly. Isn't that the entrance to the Archaean?
The dark-skinned
Look,
bunny man.
there. I think that's Erenville.
Yeah, the one we were talking to is walking out, or has walked out from these giant double doors.
A little difficult to tell from here, but I think you're right. He did say he was coming down to make his report.
Erenville receives his orders from the Forum. Would it not follow, then, that the superior to whom he reports is a Forum member, or at least a close associate?
You mean to eavesdrop on their conversation? What of the risks?
Ours alone to bear. We won't interfere with Erenville's work, nor will he be implicated as an accomplice. If you're not comfortable taking part, I can do this alone.
Nay. I said myself that I wished to know Father's intentions. And no answers will be forthcoming should we simply ask nicely.
We can apologize later, should it come to it. Right now, we need every crumb of information we can get our hands on. Consequences be damned.
It might be best if you came along as well. In fact, we should all...
Kryle has been looking at the flowers
Kryle?
the entire time. And Gishtola just noticed. Oh, and she's broken from her
Oh, yes. That certainly sounds like a plan.
hypnosis or whatever.
I'm glad you agree.
Quickly! Erenville is on the move. We need to get closer before we lose him.
Kryle is still standing near the flowers, and we have moved like 10 yards away.
Almost. I can almost reach you.
She says to the flowers, almost. I can almost reach you. Sorry I interrupted. But we're looking at Kryle while the twins are debating something, and screen goes dark. Alright, and we can turn in the quest now. Y'shtola. Is Kryle still feeling unwell? I've never seen her so distracted. Keep an eye on her, but keep moving too. We cannot let our quarry slip away. The medial circuit is complete. I can no longer promote anything Amazon unless I want to restart the program, and I made 0 sales in 180 days, so what's the point? I hope you enjoyed. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.